Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be comparing the Moto G4 Plus with the ZUK Z1 and the Redmi Note 3. I've been getting a lot of questions regarding this, and in fact in one of the last Q&As I had already answered regarding this, but still I'm getting a lot of questions, so I'll answer which one is the best for you. And the thing is that none of these devices actually excel in everything, so you have to decide what is your priority and go about it. And I have divided it into 8 different topics to give you an idea which one would be the best option for you. And the first thing is regarding the build quality. And here I would say I would give the highest rating to the ZUK Z1. It feels the most solid in hand. If you pick it up, it feels like really well built, I would say. So it's really nice. But the thing is that it does not have Corning Gorilla Glass. So that's the negative thing about it. Next is if I have to rate the second best build quality, I would give the vote to the Moto G4 Plus. It goes slightly above the Redmi Note 3. The good thing is that the Moto G4 Plus has Corning Gorilla Glass protection. And last, in terms of build quality, I would say, don't get me wrong, the build quality on the Redmi Note 3 is good. But if we talk about all these 3 devices, I feel if the Redmi Note 3 drops, this one would sustain the most damage. So if you're opting for the Redmi Note 3, I will strongly suggest that you get a case for the Redmi Note 3. Next, if we move to the battery life, here I have to say the Redmi Note 3 would get my vote. This one gets the best battery life. You can get a screen on time between 7 to 8 hours or even about 8.5 hours with the Redmi Note 3, which is spectacular and insane battery life. Second, the best option for battery life would be the Lenovo ZUK Z1. With this one, I was able to get a screen on time between 5.5 hours to about 6.5 hours. And at the last position would be this Moto G4 Plus. And this will get you anywhere a screen on time between 4.5 hours to about 5.5 hours. Next, if we move to gaming, things actually change considerably over here, and it's really peculiar, I would say, because the one that does the best in gaming also heats up the most. And the best gaming experience that I had was with this Moto G4 Plus. But the biggest con with this one was that it heats up too much with gaming. So for extended gaming, and if you're sort of a heavy gamer, I simply cannot recommend the Moto G4 Plus because it can reach temperatures of about 46 to even 47 degrees Celsius with extended gaming, which is insanely hot. The second best option for gaming would be the ZUK Z1. It played many of the heavy games without any issues. I did not notice any lag for even with Asphalt 8 and Nova 3. But the con with this ZUK Z1 is that not every game is compatible. For example, Dungeon Hunter did not work on this, and even Real Racing 3 was not compatible. So it runs most of the games that are available without any issues, but not all games are compatible. In terms of heating also, it touched about 43.5 degrees Celsius with the gaming. And though the best thing with the Redmi Note 3 in terms of gaming is that it heated the least, I would say, among these 3. But the issue is that with some heavy games, and yes, I did update it with the latest update, it does exhibit a little bit of lag. With Asphalt 8, with the latest build, the lag is almost gone. I would say very minute lag that I noticed. But with Nova 3, sadly, it was lagging quite a bit. So you have to be aware regarding that. Next, if we move to screen quality, all these devices actually have very good screen quality. I would say it's not that any of these devices have bad screen quality. All have a 1080p panel. But if I have to pick the best, my vote would go with the Moto G4 Plus. I feel this one has the best screen quality. The second best screen quality, the vote would go to the ZUK Z1 because in terms of color accuracy, this one is the best. Now, if we move to camera performance, the thing is that in outdoor conditions and in natural lighting, all these 3 phones do a spectacular job in terms of camera performance. The ZUK Z1 has the advantage of having an optical image stabilization. But when we move to indoor lighting conditions, as you can see from the sample shots, the situation changes completely. I would say here, the best one was the Moto G4 Plus, and at the second position I would rate the ZUK Z1, and the last position would go to the Redmi Note 3. Even when we move to the front facing camera, here situation actually changes completely. Here I would say the best performance was with the ZUK Z1. The front facing camera, that's a 8 megapixel on this one, was the best. Second position I would give to the Moto G4 Plus, and last position in terms of front facing camera again goes to the Redmi Note 3. In terms of video, here are the samples. This footage is recorded with the front facing camera of the Redmi Note 3. This footage is recorded with the front facing camera of the Moto G4 Plus. This footage is recorded with the front facing camera of the ZUK Z1. Now if we move to pricing again, I'll be comparing the 3GB RAM models. The Redmi Note 3 is the most affordable. You can get the 3GB RAM model that comes with 32GB of storage for 12,000. Whereas the ZUK Z1 comes in just one variant, that is a 3GB RAM and 64GB of internal storage for 13,500. And the Moto G4 Plus, the 3GB RAM model that comes with 32GB of storage is for 15,000. The Moto G4 Plus does support a dedicated micro SD card slot. So if you need a dedicated micro SD card slot, then the Moto G4 Plus has that. The micro SD card slot is a hybrid slot on the Redmi Note 3, but we sadly don't have any micro SD card slot with the ZUK Z1, though it has 64GB of internal storage. Now if we move to Android updates, again here's the situation changes completely. Again, the Moto G4 Plus would be my pick if you want the fastest Android updates. Again, it's a Motorola device, almost stock like Android experience, so this will get the Android updates the quickest. The ZUK Z1 is a different beast. It's running on Cyanogen OS. So when Cyanogen releases their new updates, you will get that. Sadly, with the Redmi Note 3, it runs this custom UI that is known as MIUI, and traditionally the MIUI has been a little bit slow with Android updates, so you have to be aware of that. And lastly, if we talk about the heating, I would say here the Redmi Note 3 was the best. It heated the least among these three. So if you just can't stand a device that gets that much hot, then the Redmi Note 3 would be the best option for you. Yes, with charging, it does become a little bit warm because it has that, what do you say, metallic back. But with general usage, I have to say this one heated the least. And the second position would be for the ZUK Z1. With extended gaming, yes, it touched about 44 degrees centigrade. And sadly, the Moto G4 Plus heated the most. If you really push it with normal usage, it's sort of okay, I would say. I used it with my primary SIM for about 7 days. But if you really start pushing it, like if you play a lot of games continuously, and if you really use the camera continuously for over 15 minutes, it gets extremely hot. So again, as you can see, none of these devices excel in every area. So you have to decide what you want. If you take mostly static pictures and you want the best quality, then I feel the Moto G4 Plus is the best option. But again, if front facing camera is really important to you, then the ZUK Z1 has the edge in that. Overall, if you want the best battery life, I feel the Redmi Note 3 gets the best battery life. So again, I hope this video helps you in deciding which device is best for you. Again, I have already posted my in-depth review for all these three devices, so you can check out those videos for the detailed pros and cons. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.